Joy is not happiness. Happiness is the opposite of sadness. And they go together. If you're happy, at some point you'll also be sad. Because all experience is by contrast, up and down, pleasure and pain, on and on, hot and cold, young and old. So all experience is by contrast, including what we call happiness. Because if you didn't know what sadness is, you wouldn't know what happiness is. But joy is independent of both. Okay? Joy is independent of sadness and happiness, and joy is independent of hope or despair. Joy is fundamental existence. So when a baby is born, it exists. It doesn't know it has a name, but it has the presence which we call existence. It exists. It doesn't have a definition. The baby is joyful, naturally. It hasn't been bamboozled by the social mind. And it's joyful, it's curious, it's full of wonder. It has friendliness and empathy and compassion and joy as part of its existence, as part of its being. That is the unconditioned mind, and it is joyful. And therefore, that joy has nothing to do with situations, circumstances, events. In fact, that joy creates the situation. So when you say joy is the ultimate measure of success, joy creates success. Joy creates well-being.
So Never Alone it started by a personal story, and I think everyone can relate to that. I lost my little sister to suicide, and that was not only a blind spot for me, but it was a blind spot for my family. So we're here having obviously this lovely conversation about joy, but we all have stories of why we got here. Like, how did you get here to this moment in time?
Having a knock on my door changed the trajectory of my life forever. Because behind that door were 21 FBI agents arresting me. And what that led to was a 5-year prison sentence in federal prison. At first, I was forced, very uncomfortably so, to look within. And there I found joy in the midst of all of this deprivation and degradation and isolation and shame and fear. There was this joy. There was this innocence, this creativity, this connection to a little girl that I had lost long ago. It makes me cry. That led to teaching. I became a GED teacher, and it ignited in me a purpose that I can't even explain to you in words, a joy, a presence with this burning passion. And I came out and decided to leave no woman behind.
That's beautiful.
Stories are the most powerful thing ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Because you're not alone. And in my journey, I needed to hear in my breast cancer journey that I wasn't alone, that someone else had been through stage 4 cancer and survived it. So if they could do it, I could do it too. You know, I had to go through the journey of at first being angry, mad, why me, hurt. And then something hit me. I was like, I either have to get busy living or get busy dying. Which one am I going to choose? So cancer was a gift that woke me up to living in my joy.
I think there's a beautiful common denominator in this space, is that by sharing your story, you transcend the story itself. It's a social responsibility for us all to be joy for people we don't know on the metro, in the subway, in the airport, in the train. I mean, what we do at Never Alone is we're using technology, we're harnessing technology, because that is a language that a lot of people use these days. And we're now going into Web3, and technology is going to be enhanced more and more. So we have to use that language, infuse it, literally infuse it with consciousness, practices, teachings, loving awareness, and enhancing, I would say, just bridges of communion and bridges of communication. We're using this because it is a medium, and we're layering it with purpose. And we have Peewee, so the AI emotional chatbot. We now have a partnership with Revo, which is this amazing channel where we can basically share our teachings and share also the offerings of the world. Like, we want to share joy, we want to wear joy. It's just a simple message, but sometimes you just have to wear joy, and then maybe it triggers your inner experience of joy.
I think all misery in the world right now is because we have sacrificed ourselves for our selfie. So yourself is joyful, your selfie is anxious. It always wants approval, validation, how many likes, how many dislikes, who said what, who's superior, who's inferior. That's not the self. Your self is independent of criticism, but also of flattery. Yourself feels beneath no one. Yourself is fearless, and yourself is always joyful. Your selfie is not. Selfie needs likes. We don't need anything to be joyful. We need a return to innocence. Innocence. So, you know, when you talk about rituals, this and that, the rituals are, how do we return to who we are instead of who we've become? I have only 3 criteria in my life for any project, including this project. Is it fun? Is it joyful? Am I hanging out with people who are joyful? And is it alleviating suffering? If the answer is yes, I do it. If the answer is no, I don't do it. That's simple. Don't worry about the world. Hang out with the right people.